Hello students, we will see pressure in a fluid. Okay, so how to find out the pressure in a fluid? So there are two different systems, okay, to find out the pressure in a fluid. So the first one, in the first system, you can take the datum line or the reference line as the absolute zero pressure or the vacuum pressure. And in the second one, you can take the datum line as the atmospheric pressure. Okay, so suppose I want to find out the pressure at point A. Okay, so in one system, suppose I am taking the first system as taking the datum line as absolute zero pressure. Okay, so at that case, when I measure the pressure from the absolute zero pressure, I am taking the absolute pressure at point A. So that is, I am measuring the pressure from the absolute zero pressure or from the vacuum. Okay, from the vacuum point. So this particular pressure is known as the absolute pressure. So the pressure which is measured from the absolute zero line is known as the absolute pressure. Okay, so when take the same point, when I am taking the datum line as the atmospheric pressure, at that particular time, the pressure at the point A with reference to the atmospheric pressure is known as the gauge pressure. So now you are measuring the pressure from the reference line as atmospheric pressure. So that pressure is known as a gauge pressure. So when you measure a pressure at a fluid using any instruments, you will get the gauge pressure. That is with reference to the atmospheric pressure. Suppose another point B. I want to find out the pressure at point B. When I take the datum line as the absolute zero line or absolute zero pressure, the pressure at the point B is again same as is known as the absolute pressure. Whereas when the datum line changes to the atmospheric pressure, it is below, isn't it? This point B, the pressure at point B is below the atmospheric pressure. So that term is known as the vacuum pressure. So instead of gauge pressure, I am changing it as a vacuum pressure. Why? Because it is below the atmospheric pressure. So these are the main terms to be noted. That is the absolute pressure, the pressure which is measured from the absolute zero line or vacuum line, and whereas the gauge pressure is the pressure measured from the atmospheric pressure line. Okay, so if that pressure is below the atmospheric pressure and again measured from the datum line as the atmospheric pressure, it is known as the vacuum pressure. Hope it is clear. And mathematically we can find write a relationship between all these three pressures. Okay, so that is, if I want to find out the absolute pressure at A, so it is nothing but atmospheric pressure plus the gauge pressure, isn't it? So this much is the atmospheric pressure plus the gauge pressure. Okay, so that is the first one. And if I want to find out the pressure at B, I can write a relationship as the vacuum pressure. So the vacuum pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure. Okay, this is the atmospheric pressure minus this much pressure. So that is the absolute pressure at point B, isn't it? So this is the relationship between the vacuum pressure and the absolute pressure and the gauge pressure and the absolute pressure. So these are the main things you have to remember in terms of pressure in a fluid.